Oh, hello. You've interrupted me in my easy chair. As always, I'm Peter Rubin, senior editor at Wired, and this week we are going to talk about one of my most anticipated comic book launches of the year. We are going to talk about perhaps the best way for you to destroy your workday productivity for the foreseeable future. But first, we're going to talk about Total Recall. Why are we going to talk about Total Recall, you ask? I do not want to see a new Total Recall. I enjoyed the original Total Recall very much. I once thought like you. I once said, I enjoyed Arnold Schwarzenegger in this role. I do not want to see Colin Farrell playing Quaid. I do not want to see Len Wiseman directing, I said. I enjoyed Paul Verhoeven's version very much. However, the more footage I've seen from this movie, the more I've become convinced that they are actually doing this the right way. Len Wiseman has set up some really imaginative, big word, I can't be helped, imaginative looking action sequences. He's filming it in a kind of pretty cool style. Great stunt work by Colin Farrell, Kate Beckinsale, and Jessica Biel, among others. And what I like the most is there are numerous homages to the original Total Recall that Paul Verhoeven made, but he kind of steps one way or the other at the last minute and kind of subverts those things, so there are a lot of sly nods to the original without borrowing wholesale from them, which I enjoy very much. That being said, Total Recall, I will be in line this Friday, and I hope to see you there. But let's talk about video games with our man on the scene. Okay, so sometimes I talk about video games, which is kind of unfair because I tend to forget that not everybody has a video game machine, a magic box that lets them do this. But if you're watching this, you do have a computer, and you are online because you're watching this. So let me tell you about an incredible game that is actually now available to play in your browser, and that game is Spelunky. It has been around for a couple of years as a Windows game, but last month it was brought to Xbox Live as an Xbox Live arcade release. It was enhanced and beefed up and came out, and people went absolutely nuts over it. It is an 8-bit platformer with a serious difficulty curve. If you die, the game is over. None of this continue, none of this 3 lives, none of this put in the Konami code and get 99 guys to play Contra with. It is serious, tough platforming. And now someone has ported Derek Yu's great game over to a browser version. So they're still ironing out some kinks, and the sound isn't in yet. I imagine it will be very soon, but it went online earlier this week, and now you can play it. We're going to put the link on the screen right now, so go to this link and play Spelunky. And because you die and the game is over, you will play again, and then you will play again, and then again, and perhaps again, and as you get better and better, you will get more and more frustrated when you die, so you will keep playing and keep playing and keep playing, and eventually you will be fired, and I apologize for that. Back to you. Okay, I thank you for that. I'm sure my boss thanks you as well. But let's talk about comic books. Let's talk about one of my favorite comic book teams coming back together, and that is writer Matt Fraction, who is one of my absolute favorite writers working in comics today, and illustrator David Aja. They worked together on the immortal Iron Fist a few years ago, and they are back working with Marvel on a superhero who, well, is he really a superhero? Hawkeye? I never liked the guy that much. In the Avengers, he's kind of the guy without a superpower. He has good aim. Great for him. I never really cared. That has changed because in their hands they have created this character or recreated this character that really draws you in. Now, the first issue of Hawkeye kind of deals with Clint Barton. He lives in Brooklyn. He's got kind of a close to home thing, an issue to take care of. So this is not really an Avengers-focused issue. But what it does is it really gives you a sense of who Clint Barton is. He knows he doesn't have any superpowers. It makes him act a certain kind of way, feel a certain kind of way, but it gives you some really good insight into the guy's psyche. And it takes place in August in Brooklyn, which if you have never lived there, I spent a very long time living there. It is one of the most miserable situations you can be in. It is muggy, it is hot, everyone's just mad all the time, especially in Bed-Stuy, which is where Clint Barton lives. So, fantastic atmospheric artwork by David Aja, and great writing, as always, from Matt Fraction. Some people think he can go a little over the top with some of the embellishments. I really like his stuff. I find it incredibly naturalistic and enjoyable, and the cadences are great. So, Hawkeye #1, out this week. No-brainer for me, and I anticipate this is going to go in some great directions. So that is it for The Monitor. We will be back next week. Until then, you can email us at themonitor@wired.com for suggestions, questions, criticisms, laudations. If you want to send me a garland of roses, I may wear it encircling my brow next week. I doubt you will do that, but just in case, I wanted to leave it open. But until then, Until we are back with more pop culture fantasticness, inspirational catchphrase here.